Welcome to the Six Figure Author Experiment, where we help you break through your first or next $100,000 goal. Parental discretion is advised. Now, let's get on with the show.
People often ask me to talk about Kickstarter. They ask me to talk about Substack, but they're missing the whole game because it's not about a platform, it's how it integrates together, and each thing amplifies each other. And that's the main thing that I want people to get out of this talk, and really out of everything that we do. All we're trying to do is amplify one thing with another thing and make it easier for us to make the money we want and reach the audience that we want. So if you do not listen to the Six Figure Author Experiment, I am Lee's co-host on that show. I've run lots of successful Kickstarters. I have a big direct sales ecosystem through my membership, The Author Stack. I co-own the conference Writer MBA, which you should all be coming to because it's 6 weeks away. At writermba.com. I write in the Book Sale Supercharged series, the Complete Creative series, the Author Stack series, the Godsverse Chronicles, the Obsidian Spindle Saga, Ichabod Jones Monster Hunter, and in general, I think the reason why people resonate with my work is I became successful selling fiction in all sorts of weird ways. And so I did not sell nonfiction for a long time. When I did, it was just a means to an end. And so my proclivities are about helping fiction authors make direct sales income, really. And it just so happens that to do that, I needed to do nonfiction, and that ended up being a byproduct. But I'm very focused on helping fiction authors achieve their goals. And so this is the crux of my argument. I am sick of learning new things. I am sick of finding the next big thing. I'm sick of hearing about the next silver bullet. I'm sick of hearing about what's going to collapse the industry yet. I just do not care. Fundamentally, I don't care. I am over all of it. I'm sure there is some silver bullet that will come along in the next 10 years, and I'm going to miss out on the train, but I need to do fewer things, and I need to be able to get more out of the things that I'm doing. And there's good news. Despite what a lot of gurus and such would have you believe, all the information you need is already out there. In fact, you probably already know all of the information, and it's way simpler to integrate them together than people show you. It's not an information problem that you have. It is a sequencing problem. People doing section 10 before section 3 after section 9. And they're like, why isn't this working? And it's because you just are doing things out of order. So this is the methodology that I have culminated over 15 years of research, testing, failing, succeeding, burning out, coming back, burning out, coming back, burning out, coming back, burning out. It's a vicious cycle. Again, I just am not here for it anymore. In 2025, I am not here for burning out anymore. I'm not here for learning new platforms, et cetera, et cetera. I want to take the things that I know and do them better. So, as we talked about before, you probably know all of the things I'm going to talk about today, or at least you've heard of them. You might even have elements of these working in your own business or not working in your business. But this is how to combine them together in the least work possible to get the most return that I have ever found. So, the system is 5 steps. The first is continuity, which are subscriptions, casual readers, aka retailers, Kickstarter, series landing pages, and web stores. And this is the exact process that I use, the exact process that I tell other people to use, and frankly, the exact process that most people choose not to use to their own detriment. Before we get started, a couple of questions. First, what platform should you use? Should you use Shopify or WooCommerce, or should you just shout on the street corner and throw stuff into people's cars? Probably not that last one, but again, this is missing the forest for the trees, because most platforms are good at one thing. So Shopify is very good at 5 web store. It circs at everything else on this list. Kickstarter is great at being Kickstarter. It is not great as a casual leader magnet. It's terrible at continuity. They had a very bad continuity product before that I tested. There is no one platform that is the silver bullet. Shopify is good if you're going to run ads to your store. If you're not, probably PayHip is fine. That's what I use. That's what I used for years. Before then, I just used a BackerKit, like a pre-order store, for a long time. The thing is not platform. The thing is, how are you going to integrate these 5 things? Again, you could talk about platform KU versus Y. That's a platform. Those are platforms. I don't know. Like, that's so many platforms to think about. What's really important is how it all goes together. Okay, second, this is what it's all about, people. If I could break down how to succeed as an author in one word, it would be leverage. Leverage is getting more out of doing less things. So when I create a presentation like this, I also use it to create a article. I use it to create a course module. I use it to plot out anything that I am doing multiple times. An email list is great leverage. I have 50,000 people on an email list, and it takes me equally amount of time as when I had 1 person on my email list or 10 people on my email list. The difference is that now 50,000 people hear my message for the same effort as it did 1. Doing great at ads is good leverage. It's continuing to get more out of the things you're doing, not doing more things. So I tell people only do things if they can be used and monetized multiple times. So, for instance, this presentation is also an article that's coming out on the Author Stack, and that will be in a book that comes out later this year or a beginning of next year, all about how the publishing industry is broken and how it can survive anyway. It's the same thing that I've been talking about for like 10 years. But everything we do is about building leverage. And hopefully you'll see how this works as we go forward. All right, I'm done talking about those things. Let's talk about the system. Okay, step 1 of this system, they call continuity. It's also subscriptions. So the reason why we call it continuity, or I like the word continuity, is because it is continuous underneath your business. The reason why I put it first is it is the foundation for everything else that you do. And it's really important that we think about it this way, because mainly subscriptions, they kind of are useless until they're not useless. I'll show you some data soon, but there is a year or 2 years when you are funneling money and energy into a subscription and getting almost nothing from it. It doesn't become a big deal until it becomes a big deal. Now, after 2 years on the Author Stack, I make 20 grand on my subscription, and a year on my subscription. But that took a long time to build up, and I'll show you that in a few slides. But because it was the undercurrent of my business, it was the thing that was slowly growing over time as I was releasing books and doing speaking engagements and doing all of this other stuff. It didn't take a ton of effort to do. In fact, I was already writing the articles for books. I had books and I had stuff before that as well. So I was not doing almost any additional work. When most people start thinking about subscriptions, they end up being like, what can I offer? How many tiers? What can I do? Can I do a bow? Can I do a book box? And my thing is would you do if you only have to do that for 1 person? That would be exhausting. So what can you do for 1 or 0 people that is not exhausting? Because at the beginning, you're going to be doing it for 1 person. So here is how our continuity works for the Author Stack. I'm a Tundra, so this is a very Tundra focused thing. If you don't know our author ecosystems, then we have a book called The Author Ecosystems. You can read all about it. What we think about how do we do periodic pledge drives every 3 months, roughly, or once a quarter to drive energy and excitement to our membership? And we're hoping to get 100 people at the same time, a time. But the idea is we are focused on it for a very short burst of time, 2 to 4 times a year. We offer great discounts. We show people what we're doing. The rest of the time, we just kind of chill and we just do stuff for the people who already care. We also offer periodic deals, 24 to 48 hours long, to boost our numbers and gain attention sometimes. So like I did a $7 deal for my birthday. It was $7 a year. Over time, as we got more and more people, like those periodic deals kind of go away or they get way worse. But the one reason why I need this to be okay, even if one person is in, is because I want to offer great deals. I want to offer $1 a year. I want to offer $10 a year. I want to offer, just get into my community and I'll give you 3 months for free. And man, if I have to give everyone a bow or I don't know, if I have to send people a book, ship people things, like that is exhausting when you only have one person. But if, let's say, I am only doing back catalog chapters every week, well, I've already done that. I could pay an assistant to do that. I could do that in 1 hour. I could put the next year of my subscription behind a paywall. And that's fine. Like, that doesn't take me a whole lot of energy. And it should not take you a lot of energy until it warrants a lot of energy. In fact, but like, we are slowly then building our back catalog. And as we're doing that, we're slowly building the price that we can charge and rewarding the people that got in early. And over time, you get somewhere between 3 to maybe 10%, depending on how many other offers you have upgrading. But they're not all going to upgrade at the same price. And the price should be relatively low, and it should be relatively non-onerous for them to even think about it until like energy starts building. Remember, as Lee says, money is energy. And it's really important to think about it this way also, because if you have one person or 1,000 people, you still need to deliver for them. And when we're trying to find leverage, we want to do something that even if there's one person, it's not exhausting or onerous. If there's 1,000 people, then I'm getting huge leverage for that. So we do not overexert ourselves filling up a subscription, especially at the beginning. Still to this day, my subscription has over 1,000 people in it, and I'm giving back catalog work. And I'm paywalling some of our stuff, but most everything is free at the Author Stack, except for like the best stuff or the most powerful stuff. I talked about burn off for existing catalog. The main thing that I want you to show is subscriptions are the hardest business. You are asking someone to commit every month, but things can change every month. People would way rather pay more for a one-off book than the same price to get 10 books on a subscription. So you have to show the value, and part of that value is you staying around for a while. This is why it builds over time. You think, oh, well, it's cheaper and you get more for the subscription, but it does not matter. Like, people would always, 100% of the time, especially now that streamers are pulling things down or changing things, they really want to own all of the things. So there's a huge gulf. And if you have 2, 3, 4 years, hopefully less than a year, of like building this value over time, then like you can make this work for you. It is very hard if you don't give it a year and have a plan like this. Ads. Continuity. I did real bad at ads in 2024. It's a kind of embarrassing to show this. I only show this because like I made a lot more money than this, but like my subscription ads were bad. I was told by somebody who was like at the top of subscriptions, don't run an ad to a subscription until you have $1,000 product. This is someone who is world class at selling ads for subscriptions. And I know that sounds ridiculous because we all sell $5 products, $10 products, and like we run ads profitably. Well, I don't run ads profitably, but some people do. So you can see how much harder it is to do a subscription product than just to sell books, which is why if you're like, hey, buy this bundle of books on my website and like have 3 months to my subscription for free, you end up like building again. It's like this slow build over time. Talking about it for a long time gets people more and more excited. Having these offers that open and close, like get the FOMO working out that they're going to want to get to the next one. But I do not recommend doing something like this if you don't have the time. So this is my money situation. This is my paid subscriber situation. So you can see that starting in January 1st last year, I had 324 subscribers, paid members, and making 10 grand, I think. Is that what it suggests? So something like 10 grand a year ago. I got 146 through our March promo. I got 319 from our August promo. I got 99 from our September promo. I got 60. Like, you can see all these numbers. I don't have to share them with you. You can just look at them. Look, this is how we grow. I did not grow in burst. I did not grow like by having this open for a little amount of time. I had it open. I had it as the undercurrent of the entire thing that I was building. And now it's a $20,000 product. A year ago, it was a $10,000 product. A year before that, it was a $0 product. So I could show you, and I have shown a bunch of you probably, how to make a $20,000 Kickstarter work. One product over 30 days. This is not that product. This is why continuity is so important and thinking about it as the undercurrent of your business. Most people don't do continuity, so that won't be super controversial. But the way that I think about retailers and how they are not a cash crop, they are a way to funnel casual readers into my CRM being email list or direct sales environment, whatever. The only purpose that I think of with retail, it is great when you make money on retailers. I'm not going to say it's not. That's good. Cool. But I think about casual readers as a way to funnel them and build a funnel so that I have perpetually refilling my email and direct sales environment. And by the reason that I say that's such a difference is I no longer have to make money on the ads that I run because they can be break even, maybe even a little worse than break even, and still be very, very valuable to me. Retailer sales are the means of customer acquisition, not the end goal. Why are they not the end goal? Because I do not own that relationship with the retailer. So why am I nurturing their relationship with their fans? Let them do that, and they do it very badly. I do it very well. Retailer sales are basically just a funnel to turn casual fans into devoted readers so they come into my ecosystem. And thus, the reason why we say to be wide is because we want to cast as big a net as possible to find readers on as many platforms as humanly possible. This is not to say you can't be in KU. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we think about it to cast the biggest net possible. Because of that, we talked about the profit. We talked about, it should be obvious then that back matter should point to your opt-ins first and not necessarily to the next book in the series first. I think you can do both things. I think people will do more than just like one action, but like that's a very controversial thing to say, I know. But like I am interested in opt-ins, and then the opt-in sells these series for me. Once they opt in, they get emails about the series that they just read so that they buy from me and my store, not from the retailers necessarily. I like retailers. I have no problem with retailers, but the retailers own the experience with their retailer, and I can't do anything about that. I can influence it slightly, but I can influence them if they come to my website. And I can even influence them to buy back on the retailer. I don't care if they buy back on the retailer. I just want to own the customer relationship as many points as humanly possible. I promise these are the two most controversial things that I'm going to say: the continuity and the casual reader. We should be on the same page from here on out. So, Kickstarter, that's the next thing. Once they're in my CRM, then I have 3 ways, or 4 ways if you include continuity, to sell them directly. See, continuity is still undergirding Kickstarter. The main thing that I want to say about Kickstarter is it should be the first step in our publishing journey. It's a chance to make the most money from our most ardent backers. I've said this before. What I have not said, except, well, the person who commented probably knows this because I know I've talked about it in our community, is Kickstarter comes first because it is a testing ground. I asked someone asked me, why would you do Kickstarter if you have a web store? And I said, because you can test everything there. What do we mean by testing? On the right-hand side here, you'll see these rewards. Look, there's digital-only subscription unbox, digital-only web store unbox. We were able to put that up during the campaign, and you would think, I don't know, like subscription seems like it would be popular. But like, look down here, 49 people compared to 9 people bought the digital unbox. The more expensive digital unbox for the web store than the subscription. So what does that tell us? It tells us that, like, I'm not going to make that subscription unbox product, at least not for a while, because like my audience doesn't want it. But that web store unbox should probably be on our close roadmap. We do this with like different merch options. People always are like, how do you know like what to give your audience? It's like, because they showed up in a Kickstarter campaign or like some sort of special offer or something, and we like knew because we tested on a very small number. When we did the Kickstarter Accelerator, that started as something called Sprint with Us, which was a Kickstarter product where I was going to walk you through like shares for $100, and so we've got like 40 people at that, maybe 80 people. I don't remember exactly how many people it was. Maybe it was 100 people. It was a lot of people that validated that was a good idea. And then it became our most successful product. So what do we test? Everything. Thanks for asking. We test the copy on our page to make sure it converts well before we send traffic to it. You know, all of those ads that you're running for testing, they're great. I'm not saying anything wrong, but like I prefer to do our testing when we have a live product and it's free to do so because we're not sending ads to it. We test to see which email messaging works. That email messaging, then we're going to use later. We test which product is the most popular. We test which cover is the most popular. We're testing everything. And then after that, we then have a bunch of data of what people will pay us for. We also use Kickstarter to fund extra production and take advantage of economies of scale. So like we'll do 100 pins instead of 10 pins. Like we'll use that extra money as a buffer because once we know a thing works, we know we can sell it in multiple places. That inventory becomes direct sales websites, becomes convention websites. It becomes all of these things in future campaigns. But it starts because we're testing that Kickstarter. That said, we should be making money on our Kickstarter, just like we should be making money on our ads with retailers. At the end of a Kickstarter, we want 3 things: all of our production costs paid for, a seed budget for marketing and advertising, and then enough money for at least one treat to ourselves, whether that is an ice cream cone or buying an ice cream store. That is really, really, really important for this process. The other thing is we want to do all of the marketing. By the end of this campaign, we want all of the marketing that we'll ever have to write done. We want our email sequence. We want our best converting products. We want a killer sales page. We want all of this stuff. The reason that people think Kickstarter is so onerous is because they do not use that information again. But if you consider looking at Kickstarter as a testing ground to test your best-selling copy, your best-selling emails, best-selling ads, whatever, then suddenly you end a campaign with seed money a killer marketing hook, a killer marketing campaign, an email sequence that converts like crazy, and like you're off to the races. Even if you only do all you do is break even or a little better on your campaign, you're actually way ahead. So now you have your Kickstarter. Once I finish that Kickstarter, it immediately transitions into a series landing page. A series landing page that has the exact copy we tested already. That has an automated sequence we already tested because it is because we did it on Kickstarter. It uses the exact same emails, or maybe some like reworking of emails slightly. But like, if something is working to sell your product, you can just make it now be an email be a landing page. Then this becomes your reader's first introduction. Remember I said the casual reader gets put into your email sequence. They are then fed this sequence that you tested on Kickstarter. And you are putting together an offer that is the best that they'll ever do. I'll show you in a second one that I do, but use an evergreen countdown timer so everyone who hits that page, whenever they join, starts at the same place and it starts counting down for them. This is really important, but like, you should never offer this discount again. It should be the best deal that you ever give. And you should tell people, hey, you have 3 days left. You have 1 day left. You have 2 days left. I generally have like a 72-hour countdown timer, 24 to 72 hours to take advantage. And then I can have good deals, but I never want to offer that deal again. So this link down here is this Kickstarter campaign. That link is this series landing page that has almost identical copy to what's on this Gods vs. Chronicles series page. And it converts. You can see that a couple of things that I did, this $25 deal, I only offered during this first 72 hours that people are on my list for that series. I have this evergreen countdown timer, which counts down to 0. So it doesn't matter if you click on that link today or in 8 years. The first time you click, it's going to say three days and start counting down. I use landing pages for this purpose because it's the quickest and easier way to convert a Kickstarter into a renewal evergreen asset. That make sense? Kickstarter is a sales page. Landing page is a sales page. Literally in less than a day, but probably less than like an hour at this point, I can make one the other. And once you have the series landing page that converts, you can clone it to every series. So if you go to my Obsidian Spindle one, my Ichabod one, they all have the same format. And again, you are now doing the work on Kickstarter and you're transitioning it to all of the other places in your business. Once you have the page, you're sending traffic to it, like use heat maps, session recordings, test the page so that it does what you want it to do. And then I'll use it to do things like free plus shipping offers or other kinds of offers or limited time deals. But most important thing that I can say here, up until this point, I've spent $0 on advertising. Everything that I have done is like maybe not straight profit, but like it is done without an ad cost on top of the production costs. And once you start having enough money coming in from your subscription to pay for your production costs, now you're net positive literally every time you create something. Okay, the final bit, because I know people are like, this is a direct sales presentation. Where is Shopify? You said Shopify once, and any direct sales presentation needs to have Shopify said 348 times. Before we do this, I will once again say, as I do almost every time I talk to this, Shopify is one component of direct sales. There are 5. There's the web store, of which Shopify can help you with. There's landing pages, there's Kickstarter, there are subscriptions, and there are conferences. Those are 5 different ways. And the fact that Shopify has been associated with direct sales is horrifying, and it's a crime against authors. Like, it can help some people if you are going to run ads to a web store to simulate the Amazon experience. Outside of that, Shopify has very few good use cases. And yet, and all of this can be done without ever saying the word Shopify. That said, I have nothing against Shopify. Just like literally every time I'm on a call and they're like direct sales, like Shopify, and I'm like, what do you mean by Shopify? Like, direct sales. And I'm like, do you mean web stores? And they're like, I mean Shopify. It's like, okay. And then we start going around in a circle. So like, I have some antipathy towards Shopify. We use Shopify. We're building a Shopify store right now. I have no thing, but just like if you said Kickstarter is the only name in crowdfunding, I would say, well, it might be synonymous with crowdfunding, but like if you said Kickstarter is direct sales, I'd be like, well, that's not true. Like Kickstarter is one component of direct sales and building a thriving integrated ecosystem. So once you finish your landing page, you can move the exact bundled offer that you are offering in your landing page onto Shopify or onto your web store. I do this. If you now go to my shop.russellnohelty.com, you will see it is almost the exact copy that the Gods vs. Chronicles series has, but it's not $25. It's $50. So you can buy it there, but like not at the same price as I offered in my landing page, and you're not going to get all the bonuses on Kickstarter. That said, you do get some kind of cool bonuses. Like you get the AI audiobooks and audio commentaries if you buy on my site. So I do think you should do something exclusive that you can't get on retailers, because it is more onerous to go onto good BookFunnel than it is to go onto Amazon if you're already using a Kindle and make it work. So in order to do that, you have to break that. You have to make it worthwhile. So you have to get above whatever the opportunity cost is to switch, which is like, well, if I can only get the same book for the same price anywhere, I'm going to get it on. So you can do that by dropping the price. You can also do that by giving more bonuses, and probably you should do both. We focus at Wannabe Press on exclusive bundles. You can't buy all of my books on retailers, at least not singularly. Sorry, I meant you can't buy all of our books singularly on my web store. You can get them all in bundles. And I think that the whole bit of this is that you should be doing exclusive bundles on your web store, and that should be the driving focus of your ads and of your effort, because people can buy single books anywhere, and you want to get the big chunky readers. And once someone buys from you, then once they finish those things, then they buy from you again. This is the whole game. The whole game is just, how can I get people from retailers into my environment, let them know that buying direct is a good experience, and so they do it again. This is the whole game I've been playing for 10 years. Okay, so you want a platform that's a web store that does upsells and cross-sells. Most do. Shopify's are best. If you're going to do Shopify, you want Klaviyo for your CRM. If you're gonna run a series discount, then make sure it's worse than the one someone gets when joining your mailing list. We talked about that. Segment out people that buy on your web store. So if they buy on your web store first, don't then let them see the better offer that they left. I now make sure I put that directly in this presentation, but like I make sure that those people don't see it. They get a different email that's like, you're awesome, thanks for buying direct, you're great, here's some bonuses, or like whatever. Lee has gone back and forth on this. I still believe Steve Piper talking about the spillover sales that you get on retailer pages is accurate, at least at the beginning. You can get spillover sales. They can be up to 6 figures. I think last time Steve even said that it can be up to 7 figures. Try testing the offer straight to the offer, which is like going straight to the landing page and also to a free download page. Steve says that about half of authors will have more success using each strategy. The last thing that I will say is people tell me that I'm leaving money on the table all the time. I don't care. I don't care. I leave a lot of money on the table because I don't want to deal with any of these silly optimizations to like make sure I'm making the most money. I make the money I need to make and more. I optimize for ease and joy. I don't care. You could do this and like really optimize the heck out of it. I don't. The last thing I will say is I have no feeling about direct sales. I like freedom and I like autonomy. And because of that, I love direct sales because direct sales gives me access to my readers. If you're not coming to our conference, go to writermba.com. It's going to be cool. It's in 6 weeks. Now there is FOMO. Come to New Orleans. Hang out with me. I just got stuck in New Orleans during a snowstorm, and it was still great. It's going to be even better when it's not 20 degrees. If you want more about this, theauthorstack.com is where I talk. I have thousands of articles now and posts and interviews and such. The author ecosystem I talked about before, that's where you can take the quiz. It is out of date. You should just buy the book. All right, everyone, this has been real. I'll see you on the flip. Hopefully send some comments my way and let me know what you think about it. This is a new presentation. I've only given it twice. Have a great day. Bye.
Thanks for listening. For more, head on over to sixfigureauthorexperiment.com for archive access, resources, and more. We'll see you next time.